What's going on? Welcome to Monday and a CGC unboxing with Jiho. And let's get some grades. We got a little short video for y'all showing my brother Jiho some love. What's going on, Jiho?
Not much, man. Thanks for having me again. Looking forward to pushing out some good numbers, hopefully.
Yeah, man. Sold a little bit with us yesterday on Poser and Pals. Appreciate you for that, brother. And hey, some of the books that Jiho got, it's pretty cool. Some dope books. So I see Better Jim in the house. What's going on, brother?
Hey,
And I got James Bullock in the house. What's going on, brother? I know it's early, so I appreciate all you guys coming. But yeah, let's get into it. So what you got for us?
All right, so let's go and get started with the book that I thought was gonna just knock me on the floor, but let's go ahead. First up is going to be Moon Knight #1.
I'll make you full screen.
Yep, thanks. It's going to be a newsstand. And so, yeah. As a side note, all of my books haven't been pre-screened. So it's like they were sent off to the wild.
Okay. Living the dangerous life.
Living la vida loca, man. Like Ricky Martin.
All right, so let's see what the chat thinks on the grade. We got a couple of people watching. Anybody want to take a crack at what the grade might be on this book? All right, you got Papa Willie in the house. What's up, Papa Willie? I got an 8.5 and a 9.6.
I like that 9.7. Not always about the even numbers, man. But should I go in and reveal them?
Yeah, we can go ahead and reveal that one.
All right.
Got a couple of guesses in there.
Beta Ray hit it on the nail on the head with an 8.5.
So snap. Look at that, Beta Ray.
Good on you, man. Surprised that you can see the color up all the way, through the interwebs.
Lisa Noble, what's going on? Appreciate you.
Hey, Lisa.
That was an interesting one. So while he preps up for the next book,
should he keep on showing or just wait till KM drops by 2?
No, you can keep it rolling.
All right, man. Log in Pony Show. All right, next up we have Venom #1. I wouldn't have sent it otherwise to CGC if it weren't also a newsstand.
You got Metaphorical in the house. What's going on, brother?
Hey, Meta. So some of these books I might even put up for sale or up for auction in my upcoming streams that I'm a part of.
All right, so we got one guess with a 9.8 so far.
Ooh, a 9.8.
See what the rest of the community thinks about this Venom Lethal Protection #1.
I mean, this book is going to spike pretty soon when the trailer does drop. So there we have it, right? I'll even show you the backside. Oops, probably shouldn't show you the grade. But Scottie Pippen in all his 90s glory.
All right, we got a 9.6, 9.8.
Right on. All right, the reveal.
So Better Jim got mad love for you, and he said you got a perfect 10 on that book.
Perfect 10. Man, Beta Ray, you think too highly of me. You are right. I got a 9.8, Meta and Papa.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm pretty stoked for that one. All right, let's turn to Eternal Warrior. As you guys know, this is the first appearance of Bloodshot. And unfortunately, this is not a newsstand, but I had to get this book to CGC, especially since this has been auctioned. So,
all right, let's see what we got on that. We got a 9.6.
9.6. She is a beauty. I'll even do a spine slide, if you will.
Got a 9.4, 9.8, 9.8.
Okay, I'm going to disappoint some people with this one. An 8.0. Yeah, they docked me, man. I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at the book. It's pretty pristine. Spines slide, from what I can tell, along with the corners are pretty sharp. So I think this is definitely a book that I need to send over back to CGC. I think the guy just had he broke up with his girlfriend or something. Probably didn't get his Del Taco order right. Who knows? All right, so next up, Strange Academy #1. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just had a good book.
It is a good book. Yeah. Anyways, Strange Academy, #1. Not the Virgin Momoko, the trade dress.
Hey, still a good book.
Yeah, she's pretty. Big fan of magic. I mean, not the stuff that David Blaine used to do, but this magic.
Speaking of magic, Magic: A Gathering comes out this week.
Yes, it does.
We don't have that available.
I do still have some magic cards. Some stuff from Arabian Nights back in the day, in the early 90s, or mid 90s rather. So I'll do a spine slide on this one as well.
That Greater hates Vin Diesel as much as I do.
Okay.
I seen your message, bum. I just haven't had a chance to reply back to you.
The Greater hates Vin Diesel as much as I do. I think so too, man. Yeah, Beta Ray about Arabian Nights. It's definitely worth a fortune. I just don't have namely the key cards that they're looking for. Hey, short box. But I did see an alpha, a starter deck sell for $84,000. Yeah.
So with that being said, I think that's the end of that one. I got 9.8 straight across the board. So
yeah, you guys are showing me love. Yeah, you're right. I did get a 9.8. So boom, there's a hit. All right. Should I keep on going then?
Yeah.
All right, man.
I mean, if we get through the books without Cam's bum self, then I mean,
I could drag my heels. I mean, we could talk about the jujitsu. We could talk about whiskey. We could talk about the algorithmic changes within Facebook, the reason why your posts may not show up, because I do work in that field. Yeah. Or we could just sit by and just watch the wind pass.
He's probably in here somewhere. Lurking in the shadows as always.
Yeah. Oh, they're talking about Black Lotus. They definitely know their magic cards. Yeah, my friend owns a few Moxes, Black Lotuses, Time Warps. Pretty ridiculous collection. But yeah, let's not start to like cry over this stream. Not just yet. All right, so Darth Vader #3.
Dang, I'm gonna do you dirty and I'm gonna say it. 8-0.
Yeah, I mean, to tell you the truth, this book arrived to me with a few defects that had to be pressed out. But then I still had high hopes for this book, especially since this book is climbing high. I was hoping that putting my books in Mylar was gonna, convince the person, hey, these are pristine books.
98, 96, 96, 94.
Oh, a 9.4. Well, if you bumped it up to a 0.4, you would have gotten the correct grade. So
Hey, how you gonna be disrespectful like that? You said has some defects.
It did have some defects.
Out here
Fortunately, they
spoofing
were
the
pressed
chat. Look
off.
at you. What's going on,
Oh,
SB Spirit? Dang,
ASB
98.
Spirit.
That's dope.
Yeah, thankful. I mean, this is all without a pre-screen. I just threw my head in the ring and saw, want to see what would come out
This
of
is
it.
your first CG submission?
Yeah, I've been a CBCS fan, and
Did J1 change your mind?
no, the market changed my mind. I read the numbers, and it made more sense to go with the CGC route. Jiho, you the defect. Hey, you know what? Unlike my comic books, I can't be pressed out. I can't be cleaned. But I'm gonna go with the CGC route for a little bit, but for other books, especially with signatures, definitely CBCS.
Even though what we showed you?
Huh?
Even with what we showed you?
Yeah, even with what you showed me, man. It's a thing where like CBCS are pretty much consistent from the books that I've sent over. And I mean, I just got a Spawn #1 signed by Todd McFarlane himself at a 9.8. And so I do know that I'm going to be eating up some of the cost as opposed to like selling that versus like a CGC one, right? Because they're selling maybe at 80 to 90%. But, it is what it is. I think that CBCS will eventually take over. I'm rooting for the underdogs such as EGS to see what happens there. CGC needs to get its stuff in order, especially with the 8.0 that I received, man. That doesn't make any sense. But that's nothing compared to like the books that they receive on the daily. All right, let's go ahead and look at the next book. I'm just gonna be done with my books before the game even shows up. Something is killing the children. #1, the Frizzen variant, obviously Virgin. This was pretty much in the same shape as the Darth Vader #3.
You just basically just giving stuff away now. Look, chat going wild. 8.0, 8.08. I mean, 9.8, 9.8, 9.8, 9.8.
Wow, you guys are too kind. Again, appreciate even 12 of us just watching this. I'll have this revealed. 9.6. They dinged me on this one for reasons I don't even see. I mean, the back is pretty clean. I don't see any creases. Oh, wow. Thank you, CGC, for skidding my book across the floor. That isn't actually part of the book, but part of the case. Yeah, I was hit with that slip up, I guess.
Damn.
Not cool. Life goes on, but I'm probably going to get that sent in again and see what happens. Should I show off the book that I was really just hoping that I get a high grade on? I mean, it's the last book that I have to. Okay. Boom. X-Men #4, newsstand. I was hoping to get this at a 9.8.
Matt, I hit you up on IG.
Man, the market speaks for itself, man.
Conspiracy. We set the market. We are the market. Fuck all that bullshit.
You make a 90% of eBay?
Hey, I'm saying if you don't let some shit go, you make the market. Like on a book like that, like a book that's hard to get, if you ain't letting it go for whatever price, that's the price they got to pay, right?
Well, I got this book for $40.
Let's take like a Hulk 181,
Mhm.
right? The book's not easy to get. If I had it slabbed by EGS, I'm not getting. And he says this is 9.8. Well, you're paying me a 9.8 CG. Like you're paying me top dollar. I don't care if it is slabbed by EGS, or you won't get the book. I'll just keep it in my collection. Like, how about that? Like, so we ultimately dictate the price for which something sells. We allow like CGC and like when we showed the shit with the case the J1 showed. Like, let's be honest, dude. Like, if he could do that, you're telling me there's not whole groups of individuals out there who are probably like that's all they're doing?
Well, the thing is that I think the adoption rate needs to be considered, right? In other words, sure, we're the ones that actually go out there and scope it out, and we know what we're trying to find, and we know value when we see it with CBCS or EGS for that matter. But I think the masses, they're still being blinded. You know, they're like a racehorse with their blinders on. They can only see CGC at this point in time.
I think that we're part of the problem, though. We vote with our dollars. So, like, what you just did, I'm not knocking what you just did, but like the fact that you're like, you know that these companies aren't above board. You know that you're getting an inferior product, yet we're still giving them our money.
Well,
so ultimately, at the end of the day, like, why would they improve their service? Why would they change anything when we're not holding them accountable? And we're basically falling into the chicken and the egg problem of, since their shit's the most valuable, we'll let them fuck up our. Look at your case that you just got. So we'll let them do that kind of shit, and still keep sending. We'll let them hold our books hostage for 6 months. We'll let them damage our books. We'll let them give us improper grade, non-consistent grades, just because they're slabs. When we do go through all this trouble, end up selling for a slight premium.
Well, at the end of the day, it's the dollar that rules, right? I mean, let's say that we do all turn to EGS, but then there are going to be people like taking our opportunity cost away from us, right? So what I'm saying is, we definitely want to transition into the brands that actually do deliver on quality.
Or at least consistency.
Consistency's sake. But until the market tells us otherwise, it's going to be hard not to be looking at making that profit that you very well can be doing. I mean, at the end of the day, you're looking at what you're doing with the book, right? Are you trying to flip it, or are you trying to take it for your PC?
So that's what I'm saying.
Right.
One has to basically decide between the short-term gain of that one trade on that book and whether they're going to support a system through which ultimately you're getting screwed over. Meaning, like, if I'm only looking at that one sale, then I would be inclined to think like what you say, and I would just slap my shit with CGC. But when I understand, like, for example, by the fact that we run these auctions and shit, as sellers, we control, like, if you don't have the ability to buy something unless we sell it to you, especially if it's something rare, meaning how we convert people over to EGS or these other things isn't through the bullshit books. It's through books that they can't get anywhere else. Meaning a book that you have no choice but to buy off of me at the price that I sell it to you for dictates the price. That dictates the market regardless of the brand behind it or anything. We determine what we're willing to let go of a book for. Now, what cases on the outside of it is kind of irrelevant. You understand? That's implied value. That's mindshare value. When, like, ultimately, okay, CGC commands this premium as far as because it's the most recognized, most ubiquitous company out there right now. Well, does that necessarily mean that slab is more valuable? Meaning, like, does that mean that particular book, because it's on an inherent value basis, is it by itself more valuable because it's encased in CGC versus EGS or another, when you're not getting consistency, you're getting mishandling of books, you get improper grading, you're getting them not even putting the right labels on books. Now, like I'm saying, if all of these things add up to me that you're paying basically to just flip, and that's a flipper mentality. And it's part of the reason why we're in this situation because the people who are selling the books are refusing to use a company that provides quality. Instead, they're just looking for the ultimate bottom dollar on every possible book. Meaning, so they're hurting themselves. The same people who are using CGC and submitting to them and falling into that trap are the same people who are being hurt as a result. Like your book that you got, like they held my shit. That's why I will not use CGC no more. They held my shit for like 6 months, bro.
No, I hear you, man. But at the same time, right? Number one, I agree with your philosophy and how like quality should not be undervalued, right? But then number two, right? I just want to show off this book. I think we should table this discussion to another time.
Yeah, sure.
At the set, let's just give them what they've come here to look at. But anyways, I think that Beta Ray had mentioned that this book definitely did go for a small fortune, right? I got this fortunately at a 9.8.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I'm definitely gonna be selling that book relatively soon. I just didn't realize it would be that high, but grateful for the grade nonetheless.
Hey, it's all good, man. In the collectibles community, like it's good that. I mean, think about it, man. When grading wasn't even possible, when they weren't even doing this kind of stuff to books, and you just had to take someone's word on it. Like when, at least we have a situation now where there's at least an impartial person that's giving their opinion on what the quality of a book is.
Mm-hmm. I hear you, man. I hear you. All right. So AM.
Where's Dan Miguel? What's your guys' slabs? There.
Yeah.
We ain't got no slabs, not yet. Mike Eastman's in grading.
Oh shit! You putting Jiho on the spot, then, man? What the hell?
I got nothing entertaining with you guys unless you guys want to put on my jiu-jitsu gi and then show you how to choke somebody.
It's Jiho shine today, man.
I can tell you do a lot of grappling, man.
Oh, this is from wrestling.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got the wrestling ears, man.
Yeah, I'm definitely not picture worthy, but I wear this with pride.
Yeah, I'm just saying you definitely do a lot of shooting. So.
Yeah, it's Jiho day to shine, man.
Oh man, I got nothing else I can show you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So, what are you excited for? Like the titles coming out this year, man. Like, are you most excited for Indie, Marvel, or DC right now?
Well, I mean, I'm a Star whore. I just love anything that has to do with Star Wars, except for High Republic. The read has been good, but I just kind of get lost with like how many variant covers that are being pushed out, as opposed to like the issues, right? So I'm much more about indie than anything else.
Nice, that's me too.
Yeah, what about you guys?
I'm indie. Going back in history, I would say I'm Marvel, DC. I collect older classic Marvel and DC, but the more modern it gets, it's just like real hit or miss for me.
Right.
I think indie overall is just more consistent and more quality. So like if you're just throwing darts at a dartboard, you're gonna do better with indie.
I hear you.
So and they hold value, I think, better over like the long term. So like number ones for indies are probably like the safest bet as far as your overall collecting nowadays.
Yeah, they seem like the better bet. I mean, I just bought an older book. I'm actually going back in time as opposed to looking forward. I just bought a Cowboy Viking Ninja book on eBay because, I mean, I know that Chris Pratt was going to be a part of that. I think the deal has been shelved for what it is, but I just like reading older indies.
Yeah, me too, man. Indies is where it's at, man, because they get to tell the stories that they want, and they're not like bound down to their corporate overlords and shit.
Right. They're not in there just to make a buck.
Yeah, so.
At least it doesn't look like Holyfield.
hey, he ain't been in the ring with Tyson either. So shit, you gotta.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Tyson is a savage, man. He might get hungry, eat anybody ears in the ring.
there's this misperception of Tyson. I mean, I got to meet the guy twice at two post UFC fight events. The guy's cool as hell. I mean, he'll
I
just
met
like
him. I've met him and Muhammad Ali, man. Muhammad Ali was super cool, dude. Like,
yeah,
it was kind of.
sure.
I've never really been starstruck by anyone like celebrities and everything. But when I was around Muhammad Ali, dude, I felt like that feeling of being like starstruck and shit. Just being like, what, like this dude's done so much like crazy shit that I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
And he was super cool. His family was super nice. Like they wasn't like, like he signed my autograph, dude. Like, and he could barely like, you get what I'm saying? He had like his Parkinson's. Or whatever, so,
right.
Like, but he was super cool. Took all the time to sit there and talk to me and shit. So like, I mean, for who he is, like, I'm literally no one for this dude to just like sit there, have a conversation with me.
Yeah.
And like sign autographs for me and shit. And
I mean, that era is just going to be part of boxing history forever. I mean, as like something that you're going to be able to recall, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you had Hearns, you had back in the day, you have Ali, Frazier, and man, you don't have those kind of legends anymore per se. You know, in heavyweight.
People are too sensitive, man. They're too worried about like the way that they look. They don't like die for their dreams no more. Like back then, people died for like what they believed in and shit. And now people just go with what's popular and what gets them the least amount of flack. And So
it's you know, you would back then. I think like athletes in particular, they took the onus upon themselves to be that role model, right? Obviously, some didn't pan out the way they needed to be, but man, I liked how they actually took on that mantle to stand up for what they believed in. It was just
even at the cost of like their careers or like their success. Like nowadays, like I'm saying, people value their success more than their principles and shit.
Yeah. So, do you remember Tommy Gunn from Rocky V?
Yeah.
You know, that guy was a beast. Unfortunately, he just he went with the wrong crowd towards the latter half of his career. But that guy, he was asked by a journalist, hey, would you mind if we called you the Great White Hope? Because at that point in time, there was no standout white heavyweight boxer that had as much draw to them beyond Tommy Gunn. The guy was just a monster with his hooks.
What do you think of? Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. And so the journalist asked him that question: would you mind if we called you the Great White Hope, with some nationalistic pride embedded in that question? And Tommy Gunn's like, no, I don't want to be called that Great White Hope. I'm just here to represent boxing. And that in itself was just the most pure moment that you could have asked anybody to endorse boxing. You know, that's what you got to believe in. And unfortunately, we just don't have those types of athletes as many anymore.
What do you think of Tyson? His
Tyson Fury?
Who is it? Jones?
Tyson and Jones?
Yeah, weren't they? Didn't they do some kind of like exhibition fight or some shit? Like he was coming back to fight him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
You mean the most recent one?
Yeah.
Hey, look at it. I mean, it's Tyson won that bout.
I just wanted your feedback on what you thought.
Tyson won that bout. It was an exhibition one. Jones, I mean, he lost what was important to him: his speed and reflex. Those are the first to go out the door when you retire and you become a legend, right? But Tyson still packed a punch. Even though it was an exhibition, you could tell that both people were still competitive, even in their 50s. And Tyson got the better of it, especially with his counters.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would still want to get hit by Tyson.
No one wants to stand across from Tyson. Yeah. Did you see his
Dude, I loved watching him box because he would just box through people's like guard and just knock them the fuck out even when they were gone.
He would break through that guard. But you know who was more of an impressive puncher than Tyson? Because I think of Tyson more as a puncher than a boxer. was Hearns back in the day.
Yeah, that's why they called him the
Hearns,
hitman.
yeah, that guy would break through like a person's guard by crushing their forearms. So his opponents would actually have hairline fractures from just that one bout that they had with Hearns.
Just imagine that, man. Like you go
That's
home,
nuts. Think about.
your arms are broke just from trying to not get hit.
Yeah.
Like what
Yeah.
the hell? That's how he just won. Most of the time, they just beat. He's just literally getting beaten to a pulp. Like
you just crushed him. Right. Yeah, I just I was never a person that could pick up a ball and dribble it from one end to the other of the court. I'd be always the person that would run fast, catch a ball, run with it. So football, soccer, they all like. I knew what they were doing. It's still a basketball. I just didn't know any better. But it's kind of surprising when you grow up, you watch all these sports that you think you'd be into that you could play well, but you just can't.
Yeah, and it looks good on TV, man.
It looks great on TV. I mean, there's a reason why we all watch March Madness, right?
Yeah, like I'm like you, man. I wrestled a lot. I played football. I played baseball, soccer, and I fucking swam. I was state and swim.
Yeah, I was a swimmer too. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
So people laugh at swimmers, dude, and be like,
no.
"Oh." I'm like, dude, I've played a lot of sports, and literally swimming was by far my hardest sport as far as like the training.
Yep. Yeah, because it tests your entire body, right?
Yeah, dude.
I was actually invited to join my college's swim team because I was pretty fast freestyle, but the entire time I was like training wasn't meant to be for swim, but it was meant for wrestling. Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, but I used to play more white collar sports. I didn't realize I enjoyed contact ones until later on. I wish I had.
Yeah, I stopped playing football because the older I got, I was like, all it takes is like you can get hurt too easily, and then boom. Like,
oh yeah, by far.
Like, fuck all that shit. That you could be super good at that shit, and all it takes is like something not even your fault, and you're hurt bad, and the chances are too high every.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head.
So
yeah, I mean, all the worst injuries that I've seen, aside from like where they hit you both head and legs in football, have all just been self-inflicted, right? Because they ran too fast, they pivoted too quickly. And even in basketball, that's how they injure themselves. It isn't necessarily like when a person rams into you. It's like you jumped up and you landed incorrectly. There goes your ACL. There goes your Achilles. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't play shit that I'm like, your body's at risk every time you're trying to succeed at the sport, especially when you're playing at like the top of it. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
yeah. Especially
if you're
when
gonna do that, like you might as well, like what you're saying, do like UFC or some shit. If I was gonna put my body on the like tempo every time I'm going to play my sport, then I would just do like a combat sport.
Right. You know what's funny is that I injured myself more through non-contact sports than I did with contact sports. It's the opposite of way of thinking, aside from boxing, of course. Yeah, you kind of get hit in the head a little too many times. You don't feel good. You don't feel like you should go to work anymore.
Yeah, and people who haven't went through that shit don't understand that shit. That even though if you could take a punch doesn't mean like after a while you don't get like feeling crazy from just getting hit in the head too many times.
Yeah. Papa Willie asked a question. Basketball. I feel like this is or like our just kicking the shit right now, but okay, Jordan, LeBron, or Bryant. That's always debatable. LeBron, I think, is the best athlete among the three. Jordan put on a style.
Oh, go ahead. I'll let you go. You said LeBron's the best athlete.
Best athlete by far, because there's no way a guy at his sort of like size and build should be moving that quickly down the court. Jordan brought in the flair. I mean, in the early 90s, no one up until that point played like he did. right? No one had the fadeaway shots. No one had those crazy like crossovers. But I think Bryant was a better team player. I mean, you could argue that, you know, Kobe deferred on Shaq, but unlike the Bulls, where everyone was just focused on Bryant, like the championships were more of a team play with the Lakers. So that's why I think Bryant was a better team player.
See, I would agree and disagree with you. I do agree that LeBron is probably the best, the most naturally gifted basketball player who's ever played basketball.
Right.
But I don't think he's the best. I would say that would go to like Jordan or Kobe, and it's because being like the best basketball player is more than just about like the best raw skill. And like LeBron's biggest issue is that he like his work ethic. So his team play. So like that's why he'll never be on the level of like Kobe or Jordan to me. Like Kobe, exactly. Everyone compares everyone to like Jordan. I don't think that there'll ever be another Jordan because the whole way like the game is played and he played like what he did and the way he dominated still ain't been done. There like you could like he literally what would have happened, for example, if when he won his third ring, if he wouldn't have just walked away from literally quit basketball. He quit basketball when they were at the most dominant position in basketball. Was like, you know what?
Right.
This is not a challenge. I'm just going to go take some time off, and then still came back and still has more rings than anyone. So if he literally would have just been hungry like all the rest of these people his whole career, I mean, we talking hypotheticals though. I mean, I can't argue something that didn't happen, but let's be honest. If what would have happened, you're telling me them years that he walked away, he wouldn't have won at least another one, maybe two of those rings. Like, let's be honest. If he came back and then won 3 back-to-back, then came back and won 3 basically back-to-back, you're talking about the time in between, he wouldn't have won at least half of those times. I don't believe it. So then, how many more rings would he have just from that? And then, like, that's why stop comparing people to Jordan. They won't even be with salary caps and shit. They won't even be able to create a team that will allow that shit to take place. Like not anymore. No. It won't happen. That's why Pippen ended up doing what he did because he was basically getting screwed to allow that team to happen.
Yeah, I mean, but the whole team was centered around Jordan at that point. You know, you had Pippen, you had Rodman, you had plenty of other people during that roster. But then for Kobe, the reason why he succeeded was like, I remember back in, was it 2001? I forget what year it was, but then you had everybody working together as a unit, you know, like you had Fox, you had Fisher, you had Shaq, even you had a host of other people too. So
hey, you see who the coach was through all of them.
That's true. The coach is the common thread.
Like
it is like the Lakers or Bulls.
He got rings on his toes. That dude's got rings on his toes, hanging out of his earlobes.
Yeah, that guy was remarkable. Yeah.
So he just knew how to like build teams, man, and how to take a star player and be like, look, man, do you want to win or not?
Yeah. Yeah, he just knew how to actually put together a team, unlike what's his name, Belichick, right? The theory was, hey, can Brady win without him? And Brady killed it without him. He came in as an underdog, you know.
Yeah, the Super Bowl was very interesting, to say the least.
Yeah.
It was an interesting spectacle.
No one expected Brady to, especially the dark horse. Yeah, sure. You had that guy. What's that guy? I forget the guy who came from the Detroit Lions. Now he plays with Brady, defenseman. But anyways, man, that Super Bowl was fun to watch. And then it got blown out of proportion.
Oh, and then the halftime show. That shit was just weird. I don't know what the hell weekend, bro. I felt like I was in a straight middle of an Illuminati video and shit. I was like, man, this dude is wild.
It was like Illuminati
versus the halftime show.
It was like QAnon and all that kind of crazy
Bro,
shit.
it was literally, it reminded me of like one of the non-videos and shit. I was waiting for the dude to be like, "We're watching you."
Exactly. I think it was all just a big distraction to put cameras in our places, you know?
Yeah, dude. We've
I
went
mean, I don't even know. I stepped away for 5 minutes.
Man, bro, it was a hot mess. Like
Invited Meta, and we went off the rails.
Well,
hey,
I mean,
no,
this is
man.
what happens. It's entertainment, man.
This is
You
what
can't put a value to it.
people pay for, Am. They pay good money to see us talk about bullshit. Like basketball has nothing to do with comics.
Hey, wait a second. You know, in that same vein, AM, you owe us money because we're actually adding subscriptions. We're helping you get, videos watched. Come on.
I'll pay you $1 for every subscription I got, which I got 0 videos started.
He's like, wait, some motherfuckers unsubs. Does that mean that you owe me?
Hey, still interaction, man.
Conspiracy. Told you. That's why we can't have nice things, man. Sorry if you hear my son yelling. He's throwing his helicopter.
Oh, you're good.
What's up, Leet? Comics.
Hey,
yeah,
Leet.
man.
Oh, Leet, I meant to show you this book that I got from CGC. Yeah, this sucker. It's fortunate to get this one.
That's a good book to have right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
So
I want to ask you one other question, man. Now that we got, I've never got to ask you this stuff, like in DM or anything. What's your main motivation behind like collecting? Like
the main motivation is that
for like just PC for investment purposes to.
So I've been like, even before Omega Red became massive, right? I was always a fan of him. I mean, I bought 5-6 copies of his books, knowing that I was going to flip them later, but I just didn't realize he was going to have such a big appeal. But in truth, like I am more of a PC person. I like to collect, especially those that showcase art that I enjoy, like Magnolia. I got Seed Destruction number 1 through 4 signed. And I could have only gotten there had I flipped some books in the meanwhile, right? So, I mean, Star Wars, as you guys know, I'm a big fan. I read all the books, but I can only get to my collection if I can start flipping.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I collect for both PC and like long-term investment purposes. So.
Yeah, I hear you.
Because I feel like the comic books are better investments in stocks. So like,
by far right now the volatility is too much to handle. I don't have that much drama in my life. I mean, I have too much drama in my life. I don't need to add in more.
Yeah. I never no, I mean, I've always been like the type that I've never understood really people leaving their money in the stock market for long periods, like 401ks. I've never understood.
Yeah, well, 401ks are always going to be there for us, but that's how they're going to use I'm forgetting right now. There's a number of taxes that we obviously do pay that don't are they bidding on my X-Men number 4 right now? What is this?
I think they're bidding on, they might be bidding on you, Jiho. So you might
they're bidding on the X-Men, man. And we started with $1.
This is
I'm really on phone. Shit, $7 high.
Look, AM is wild. He's selling your book. He said he's selling that book, man. Little do you know. He's like, little do you know, the auction has started.
Right.
Guess who's on the block?
Hey, Meta, you know how we talked about the weekend, being a distraction?
Yeah.
Oh shit, Papa Willie at 15.
He's running a distraction while he's selling your book.
Right. I guess I have to sign my life away to this.
Oh shit. Emmy folds.
Hey, Bullock, hey, we about to come out with our own coin, man. That shit gonna outperform a lot of shit.
Shit, I'm surprised.
It's gonna be sick.
Oh, where's Cam? Is he gonna show up?
Man,
he's a bum. He's here.
I know he's there because he messaged me on IG and he was like, AM sleep.
AM ain't sleep. I'm right here.
He said that boy sleep. I said that boy lazy.
Nah.
Then he always blaming you. I think the honeymoon's over because he just always blaming you for everything, man. It's just
I guess so.
look. See, James said he wanted to buy it. They ain't gonna be called Metacoins.
Metacoins.
They're gonna be. We're actually coming out with our own coin though, Jiho.
Are you serious? Like,
I'm
is it actual coin or NFT?
It's gonna be a coin. So then, like, when you buy into it and trade like in our community, you'll earn like community rewards and shit.
Oh, okay. So it's like a meta buck.
Yeah, kind of. Well, it ain't gonna be a meta buck, but it's gonna be a mafia. It's gonna be the whole like our shit, not just mine.
Okay.
Because and then that'll be used to set up like I'll get all the rewards. The people who are in it will get rewarded.
Right. That's pretty cool.
Pretty dope.
All right. So for auction, we have unexpected 10-center. No, I can't do that just yet.
All right, look, we up to 19. So what you throwing in? What are you throwing in, Jiho?
What am I throwing? I'll throw in a USB cord.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then he's gonna swap out for only the USB cord because that's all you can get for $19.
Yeah, fair market value.
Yeah. All right, ME. Thank you for joining us, you bum.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to head out too, unless you guys got something else going on.
Nah, man. That's it, man. I just wanted to spend 46 minutes with you.
Oh my God. This sounds like are we waiting for the happy ending and shit?
Damn. Yeah.
Gosh.
We'll be back at it again tonight. You already know.
All right. Well, thanks again, Am, for the time, Meta, for the conversation.
Yeah, man.
I'll
Thanks
see
for
you guys
showing us
soon.
your books, man. And it's always nice to, chat it up with you guys.
No problem, guys.
When I got some time.
Yeah, man. Next time you do CGC submission, let me know.
Yeah, definitely will. I'll let you know about the CBCS submission. I have a pretty big stack that went to Star Wars. That includes like the legacy books.
Yeah, let us know if you want to jump on with us sometime too, man. Just DM me. You know what's up.
Yeah,
man, I think YouTube gonna ban us.
Nah, bro.
Jiho was like, I'll do a CBCS submission. Meta's like, I'll do an EGS. They're over here doing CGC. Somebody gonna shut us down,
bro. We do whatever we want. It's free world.
We're gonna get shut down.
No, we ain't gonna get shut down, boy.
You know how we work with the surprise videos randomly throughout the week.
Yeah, I was like,
we had one on Monday for the first time, but we out. And I'll catch y'all.
I got sabotaged with the kids.
Oh my God. I
had to go get food.
With that being said,
I didn't know
we will catch you guys on Sunday on the talk show when we talk about crossover number 5. Have a good one.
Peace.